the best advice is to always follow what your heart says and not what other people say. You and only you and yourself know your true potential and your true strength. So don't hear if someone says, you're not good, you're not going to make it. Only you know your true potential. So whatever it takes, go there, hunt your dreams, achieve your goals.
It's Johnny Late Night! And now here's your host, Johnny Rogers! Welcome back, everyone, to episode number 48 of The Johnny Rogers Show. My guest today is an up-and-coming comedian from Greece. He's literally starting in a comedy scene that has one comedy club and not much else. Despite that, he has pursued a career path in entertainment as an actor and stand-up comedian. He's known for his acting in the film The Demons Within, Mob Humor 2022, and Extreme Improv Revenge. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for my friend and yours all the way from Greece, Stavros Batras. Thanks, man. Thanks so much for coming on the Johnny Rogers Show. It's good to have you here.
That's what I mean.
So, how long have you been doing stand-up comedy?
I began to do stand-up comedy professionally right before COVID hit.
Right before. Wow.
Yeah, I'm so lucky.
Yeah, for real. So what was that's a terrible time for it to hit. I can imagine it was similar to here in Canada where everything is just closed and you're like, you don't know what really to do. But what's the comedy scene like in Greece?
The whole comedy scene is, let's say, the opposite as it is in the US. There are lots of Karens in the Greek audience. I mean, the problem is that people try to get offended.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't know if you have it there, but...
Oh, yeah. We have offended people here, too. But our offended people write whole articles and make videos and try to take people's jobs away from them and all that fun stuff, too.
Yeah, I know that feeling. We've got that here, too. I mean, always your jokes or comedy in general must not, make people sad.
Okay.
All of us are supposed to laugh. So I don't know. I think that if things keep going like this, that people try to get offended, I don't know what's going to happen to comedy.
Here's my thing. So because every country is completely different, right, in the way that they handle free speech or whatever you want to call it, right? So I'd be interested, honestly, to hear if you know what the government of Greece is kind of doing with this sort of because we're just talking, right? Like the whole point of jokes is that it's people saying things that they don't really mean. That's what's funny about it, right? And it's meant to take things that are sad and hard to deal with and make light of them so that it's easier to deal with. And you can kind of go to these things and kind of chuckle and go oh yeah, what am I taking life so seriously for? Like in America, they have obviously the First Amendment, which means, the right to free speech and they're allowed to, say whatever they want. In Canada, they had something, I can't remember the name of the bill that got passed, but it was a specific bill that was meant for hate speech. So anything that's denigrating a certain type of person in society, they don't want any of that, which I understand, but there's different scenarios, right? If it's inside of a comedy club and people paying to go see the show understand that they're going to a comedy show and everything coming out of the comedian's mouth is a joke and they don't mean any of it and they're not trying to incite a riot, then it's okay, right? It's allowed at that point. But I'd be interested to know in Greece, because you guys have if anybody needs to laugh, it's you guys, right? You've got economic collapses on your hands, and I mean, anytime the wrong soccer team loses or football team, the whole place gets burned to the ground.
Yeah, unfortunately, Greece isn't famous for good reason. Almost, unfortunately, like it was in the ancient times, Greece, Aristoteles, maths. But now we're famous for all the bad things. And also, I wanted to add about what you said a little earlier, is that myself, I do what exactly mentioned before about making jokes of something bad that happens to my life in order to, see it from a more comedic side, in order not to get hurt so much, or even that helps me go through.
Yeah, no, I totally understand that. Like, I, growing up, had a lot of insecurities about like what other people would think of me, right? And then it might not even be something that someone had ever said to me. You just make these things up in your head, or maybe there's like societal standards that kind of make you start thinking these things about yourself, whether it's like, oh, I don't have the, the ideal body type, or I don't have enough money, or whatever it is, right? These things that kind of lower your confidence. I found like talking about those things and making people laugh, even before I was a comedian, lifted that confidence. And it's like, even, yeah, I don't have these things, but I can make fun of the fact that I don't have it. And now I have you laughing and I have you smiling. And that to me is a much better feeling than actually attaining these quote unquote life goals or things that you're supposed to have by now.
Well, I was very strong. Psychologically, I had some trouble since I was a kid. I got bullied because of my skin color. I'm not so white. I'm more. I tend to the black side. So I got bullied.
Wow.
Yeah, from first day, I think, at school. But then when I grew up, the bullying kept going because I chose the stand-up comedy and the acting. They said, actors don't get paid, don't be an actor. What stand-up comedian? It's not a real job. You're like a chimpanzee. They're laughing at you.
Yeah.
They didn't see it as a work, and they laughed at me in a bad way.
And now look at you. You're on the Johnny Rogers show. No, man, I totally like, again, I think it's just something that will take time for people to realize that there is like not only an avenue where you can make money in these regard, but you don't have to necessarily go to America to make an entire career for yourself. I know plenty of people who become famous from the middle of nowhere. Like, they're literally like, in Canada, there are several people who just went viral off of like a TikTok, and now they have like ad revenue streams coming in and they're making money just creating content. Or they have a podcast and they get sponsors for the podcast, and that pays your way. Or tons of actors as well too, who started from short films that didn't really pay anything, and it was just kind of for experience, and then it's led to them getting booked by a manager and booking commercials and booking small walk-on roles for movies. So I think it's just like, as old as Greece is, I don't think that the idea of comedy and entertainment has been a place where they're like, oh yeah, that Greece, that's where you want to go to become like a big movie star or something, right? But it's got to start somewhere. And I always like to think, when you fast forward 25 years from now, the kids that will be starting and trying to get in comedy and trying to get into acting will look to you for advice. Like, you don't realize this, but you're actually blazing a trail for those people, because you took all of the abuse of people saying that you couldn't do this or you couldn't do that, and you did it anyways. You're actually proving that there is a path, even though it doesn't seem clear right now. I always like to think in those terms.
Yeah, I completely agree with this. I haven't thought about that you said from 25 years ago. but I just wanted to inspire people to know that if they want to find a way to do something, there's always a way. And never, never, never quit their dreams. 2 years ago, since I began to think more about becoming a professional stand-up comedian, I began to talk about that, and I said to my closest friends that supported me, "Hey guys, I'll push myself. I'll do whatever it takes, and in the next 2 years, I'm going to perform at the biggest stage and with the best stand-up comedians. I don't mean in Greece. I mean at the States. Friends supported me. They said, "Yeah, yeah, you can do it." But it was like teasing me in a good way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Uh, and after 2 years, they say to me, "Do you see what you've become? You said you're going to make it to 100%, and now you're 120%." Uh, that's the spirit. I mean, you always have to push yourself, and always have in your mind that the path is not going to be easy. Unfortunately, that's the truth. And that's what people don't see. They see, Stavros or Johnny. They've done stand-up comedy shows. They've nothing to worry about.
Mm-hmm.
That's not like it. I've professionally done lots of sacrifices. I've done 2 to 3 jobs simultaneously in order to gather money and come to the States. I've lost many nights. I mean, all my friends were out drinking. I was home studying, trying to write jokes, studying at my school at Stella Adler Academy, Los Angeles. And they don't see the struggle that's behind the lights. They see only the lights. They
Yeah.
don't realize that on August I'll have one of my most important stand-up comedy shows at Chocolate Sundays, where I get 5 minutes to perform. And if the world if the audience votes for me, then I get to perform at the Laugh Factory. So performing at the Laugh Factory, the biggest comedy club stage in the world, and I've got only 5 minutes to persuade everyone to vote for me.
Yeah.
That's so stressful. I mean,
Yeah.
you've got
And you
only
actually
five
have less
minutes.
than that. You actually have less than that because people
Yeah,
will make a decision about whether you're funny or not within the first minute, maybe even less than that. Maybe the first
yeah, yeah,
30
yeah.
seconds. Like I always say to comedians, like you should be careful of every word that comes out of your mouth because if it needs to have like intention and purpose, right? And like the old people coming out and saying like, "How are you guys doing tonight?" Don't ask them. Tell them how they're doing, or just like start the show. Like I want those first couple words coming out of a comedian's mouth to be the beginning of a joke, or at least feel like you're taking us on that journey somewhere, so I can feel comfortable in letting you guide me because I'm just sitting back and letting the comedian guide me through his thought process or her thought process and then arriving at that misdirect for the punchline that makes me laugh, the thing that I wasn't expecting, right? Locking you in that kind of hypnosis. But I
I,
get what you're saying, man. It's tough. It's tough.
yeah,
So you
it's
got
very
five
tough,
minutes?
but unfortunately, nobody sees that.
No. Only
Everyone
your
says,
comedian
"Oh, yeah,
family.
yeah." Everyone says, "Oh, Stavros or Johnny, he's performing at this or at that stand-up comedy club," but they don't see that uh, our 5 minutes, 10 minutes, half an hour, 45 minutes. I don't know how much time you get on stage. They don't see that by this time. It depends of if we're going to have one more show. If people will say good words, if they like it, if they're not.
Yeah. And I think too, like the interesting thing with doing comedy in Greece is I don't imagine like how many like shows do you have? How many rooms is there a comedy club that you go to, or is it like a bar that puts on comedy nights?
Here in Greece, it's more like I'm a comedian. I find a cafeteria or a shop in general, and I say that I find the owner and say I'm stand-up comedian. That's who I am. That's what I've done. I would like to do a stand-up comedy show at your shop, or they do it on cinemas, but uh,
So you've got no like club specifically, right? Like no place that's like
no,
we're a
no, I
comedy
think
club,
there's
you come
only
here for
one
comedy.
comedy club.
One,
I
okay.
think that there's only one. Yeah,
Wow, that's interesting. Because then you also have to narrow down, because with comedy, the only way to get better at it is to repetition, right? Doing it as many
yeah,
times as you can, especially in the beginning, right? Doing it as many
yeah.
times as you can to really find your voice. So if there's not really that many spots, you have to kind of create those spots. And I remember a story, you know who Jay Leno is, right?
Jay.
Jay Leno, he was like a host of, was he the host of The Tonight Show? I'll pull up a photo here. He's an American comedian. You'll probably recognize him when you see him. Let me just pull it up here. Do you know this guy?
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah. So
remember
that's
him.
Jay Leno. So when he started doing stand-up comedy, there was like no clubs in America even. And I think it was like a strip club that he went to. He went to some club and he walked up to the owner and he gave him like a $50 bill. And he said, he was like, I let me go on the stage for a couple minutes and do stand-up comedy. If it's not funny, you can keep the $50. If it is funny, I just want the 50 back. You know, like here's like a deposit to kind of let me take over your stage for a second there. And I just
Yeah,
was
yeah,
like, damn, I couldn't imagine like that level of thinking where it's like he wants to perform, but there's nowhere to get this out. There's nowhere to do this. So he's just creating those opportunities. And I'm always so fascinated when I meet someone like yourself who's springing up in a place where, like you said, there's one comedy club. You're the one producing the shows, you know? So it's like that to me is like kudos to you, man, because that you're literally, like I said earlier, you're blazing a trail for other people to get excited about it, and honestly for people that are in Greece to want to come see a comedy show. Like I bet even, do you do comedy in like just only Greek, or are you also writing like English sets as well?
if I perform in Greece, I write Greek.
Okay.
If I perform at the States, I write English.
Gotcha. Now, because I was gonna say, like maybe there's even an opportunity to try to find like tourists that are, or big tourism groups that are coming to Greece that are from, North America, that you could put on these like English shows for them almost and be like, look, like you can have a dinner at this restaurant and then catch a comedy show and it's all in English or whatever.
Yeah,
And you could even
that's
like
good.
you could even if you see some people who are Greek in the crowd, you could like say some Greek to them and they'll be like, oh yeah, stupid foreigners or
That's a good
whatever.
idea. That's a good idea. I haven't thought of this, but unfortunately, I live almost 4 hours from the capital of Greece,
Oh
Athens.
wow.
So that could require lots of money
A lot
for
of
me.
planning too.
Yeah, lots of planning to where to stay. So I don't know.
I get you,
I
man.
don't know.
I grew up in a small town in Canada, and there was no comedy clubs, no comedy shows happening, nothing. I think I put on like two or three of them in my own hometown. But again, if I wanted to go to Toronto, that was 4 hours for me to drive. I'd have to drive and sleep on someone's couch or on the floor sometimes, or in a lazy boy chair with the kicked backwards, whatever I could. I'm pretty sure I slept in my car one time, and then just to do again 5 minutes to do 5 minutes and then drive back 4 hours, and it's like
Yeah, I know, I
you
know.
really gotta love it, man. That's an obsession like that you really have to want to stick with to get through that. Because any normal, rational person would be like, I don't want to do this. They would just quit right away. What
When
keeps you locked in? What keeps you doing it?
it keeps what keeps me doing that, the I'm so stubborn. So when I put something in my mind, if I want to achieve the 100%, even though if I achieve 100, I'll try to achieve more.
Mm.
So the thing is that I always love the feeling that make people laugh and make them forget their problems for an hour, for 2 hours, depends on the show. So the most important thing for me is that I make people forget their problems and make them happy.
I love that, man. I love that. That's actually very exciting to hear. And like, are you planning on leaving Greece at any point in time to come to America or to move to a different, maybe even the UK? I've heard they have a burgeoning, or not a burgeoning, but like a big comedy scene there as well. Like a lot of people from Canada actually go to the UK for like shows and they stay there for a little while because it's a completely different type of audience. Like there's also the Edinburgh or not Film Festival, Edinburgh Fringe Festival, is that what it is? Yeah, there's a fringe festival as well where you can like book your own kind of time slot and be like, it's Stavros for this hour here. And then you go out throughout the day and try to get people to come to your show to that night. Do you have bigger plans, or do you want to grow the comedy scene in Greece first and then move?
Firstly, in England, I've done once a stand-up comedy show with the guy that won the BGT, Britain's Got Talent.
Nice.
I've performed once. I'd be happily travel again to perform, but right now on my mind I've got the stand-up comedy show that I mentioned earlier at Chocolate Sundays. And if I go through this, then I'll hope that I get my visa accepted, so I'll be able to stay there for a while, perform at Laugh Factory, which honestly is a dream that if it comes true, I don't know how I'm going
You're
to
lighting
feel.
up just talking about it, man. I love that. I love seeing you get excited just like the idea of it. Is this the Laugh Factory in Los Angeles that you're saying?
It's my first time, yeah.
Nice. So it's the one in LA though, right? Like in Hollywood?
Yeah, Hollywood.
Okay, yeah. For me, like, oh my God, the Mecca for me, when you get there, I'm not going to say if, when you get there, you have to go to the Comedy Store. I'm telling you, go to the Comedy Store. Google it, look it up, read everything about it, because that place will blow your mind. It's literally where legends were born. It's like any massive comedian, they started there, you know? And you can feel it almost when you walk into one of the shows. And just, I don't know if they still do this, but I think it's like if you go after 11 o'clock, they just let you in free. You just have to maybe get like 2 drinks or something, but you don't have to pay the price of the ticket. And they run shows till like 2 o'clock in the morning. So you can watch some like really talented comedians and like learn a lot. Because that's what I would say to you. If you're going to go to LA, try to get on as many shows, or at least go to as many shows as you can and just absorb all of that, right? Like take in all of the different techniques that they use or styles. Who would you say is like your biggest influence in comedy?
That's a tough question.
Oh yeah, I've got so many.
I don't know, but except Axel Blake, who won the BGT, I think that another comedian that not inspired me, but I liked how he performed, is Dat Fan. if you know him. He won the NBC Last Comic Standing.
Dat Fan? Oh,
Dat,
okay.
D-A-T.
Dat Fan, yeah. I'm pulling him up here now. I'd never heard of Dat Fan. See, this is why I love talking to people about their favorite comedians. Let's pull it up for the people watching.
He's my favorite.
Dat Fan.
Yeah, that's him. There he is.
Bobby Lee.
Oh, I think that there was a flyer of a show that I was performing with him.
Oh, no way. Let me go back.
Yeah, I think so. I saw the blue.
The blue here?
No. No, it's not. It's
I
not.
love that.
But wait to check my phone. Anyway, he's the winner of the NBC Last Comic Standing. He's such an amazing guy, and he put me on his stand-up comedy show twice. And now on the 9th of July, I'm going to perform again with him at his stand-up comedy show.
Nice. Sorry, what was the date on that?
Sorry?
What was the date that you're performing again?
9th of July.
9th of July. Okay. When is this podcast coming out? Oh, it comes out on the 10th. Well, you missed it, everybody. You missed Stavros.
There I am. Oh, sorry.
I love that. Did you do like, obviously with the pandemic, it must have caused like kind of switch, like, oh, I have to go to online content. Did you find like, did you do any Zoom comedy shows or make more sketches or do anything like that?
Yeah, I did. It was actually quite good, but the only problem was that when you performed, the one that did the show, highlighted you.
Yeah.
And you saw yourself when you performed.
Oh no.
And I don't know. I didn't feel so comfortable with that.
Because you're doing jokes to yourself, and it's like, you're kind of like, oh, does my hair look weird? Like, do I got something in my teeth? Oh, fuck.
Yeah. You look at yourself performing it. I don't know. I didn't feel so comfortable with that, but it's okay.
But it's just more experience, right? Like I had been doing comedy, let me think, 9 years at that point, and then pandemic hit and it just shut everything down. And I was like, and I watched a couple of the Zoom comedy shows and I was just like, I can't do that. I don't know how they're doing it. Like, kudos to them, keep doing it. And I saw newer comedians like jumping on, like Simone Holder is a comedian from Ottawa who like started during the pandemic and maybe a little bit before that, but she was mostly doing like Zoom comedy shows. And she ended up booking like a ton of stuff like right after it. So I was like, okay, there is value in it for the people who know how to do it and can do it. And definitely like think that the idea of doing Zoom comedy shows is great because it allows us to like double up on things that we can do. Like you would have to travel from show to show to show to show and leave them early so that you can make your next spot. But if you're doing like 4 Zoom comedy shows, you just exit out, click on the new one, exit out, click on the new one. It's so much faster. So I get that. I understand like the value in it. Me personally, there's no way that I could. I just know myself too well. I would have the same problem. Like, I don't like staring at my face while I'm telling these jokes.
Yeah, exactly.
Or you get like a delayed reaction and there's kind of just like a drop off after you say something where you're expecting to hear the laughs. I think when you've been trained by an audience to hear laughs at a certain time and you're not getting that, it just feels like empty inside. You're just like, oh, it's a terrible feeling.
Yeah, it feels weird.
Yeah. What was your first time on stage like?
My first time on stage was honestly amazing. There was a festival here in Athens that the mayor of the city did. He called one of the biggest stand-up comedians here in Greece, who's got 1 million followers. He got him, and he got another guy. I think his name was Kostas. Can't remember. But anyway, the famous comedian Alexandros talked to the mayor and called me to perform with him.
Hell yeah. That's a good reference for your first time.
Yeah, I was like, wait, look, doing funny clips on Instagram is a whole other thing than doing stand-up comedy show. Don't worry, you've got time. This event happens in a month. Okay, then teach me something so that I don't get up on stage and everyone looks at me like seeing a horror movie.
Hey everybody, Johnny here. Just want to take a quick second to thank our newest Patreon subscriber, CLB. I appreciate your support, and because you are subscribed to the show for just $1 a month, you're getting this episode before anyone else. If you want to be cool like CLB, head to patreon.com/TheJohnnyRogers and join in on the fun. All right, now back to the episode.
So he helped me a little. He told me how to talk to the audience. I still didn't believe in myself because, for a first time, having 2,000-3,000 people for a first time, it's very scary. I mean, I don't know
for anyone.
For anyone to do in front of 2,000 or 3,000 people. But anyway, I got there. He got me on stage. For the first 8 minutes, everything was okay. But after that, I don't know, something happened and words didn't just came out of my mouth. He realized that, he was backstage, he realized that, and he came on stage in order to make me feel comfortable. And that's my first experience on stage.
And then you got some more laughs kind of after he helped you, right? Like you were able to kind of get stuff out?
For almost every joke that I said, I had the laughs.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's a good success.
Yeah, because, having 3,000 people below me.
Dude, having him tell the mayor to reach out to you to get you on that show, you won already. You know what I mean? Like even if the set went terrible, you already won. Like that's an amazing opportunity to be given, and it shows that you're actually working, It shows that like you are moving towards a goal and other people recognize that and they see that, and then they want to bring you along with them. Because everybody likes to, like you were saying earlier, everyone likes to shit on the person that's trying to do something. But once they start winning at that thing, everyone jumps on the bandwagon and they're like, I was there at the beginning and I always knew he could do it. It's like, no, you didn't. You better be marking down names, dude, of all the people who said you couldn't do it. You are not getting backstage passes, dude.
Unfortunately for the people, my memory is very good. So I remember everyone that supported me from the beginning. I remember everyone that said bad words from the beginning. So I remember everything. And also, not to offend someone.
Offend away.
I personally like the bad comments, but the bad comments that come from comedy professionals.
Yeah.
I mean, if I get all the time, you're the best, you're the best, you're the best, you don't evolve. But when someone, I say it again, who is professional, who is good at comedy comes and says, you must fix that, you must do that instead of that, then you have to hear him. You've got to, the bad comments from pros make you evolve.
Yeah. But even them you have to be careful with, because we're all human, right? And so we all can succumb to jealousy or envy. And I know that there's like, I for one like to see the good in people. I don't like to assume that people are going to be like try to, manipulate me or try to like trick me into doing something that's wrong. But those people do exist. So it's important to take the advice, but then never forget like what you personally find funny and what you personally have found success in. Because for years, comedians told me at the beginning, don't post anything online. Don't post anything online. You don't want to ruin your comedy set. Then people will come out to your shows and they'll say, oh, I heard that one before. You told that one online. I don't want to hear it again. Not true. Now, literally everyone posts content online. So what was once something that people would say never to do became the way that everyone does something. So it's like, it's always important to kind of like have a good head on your shoulders where you can take the advice, but then still do it your own way,
Yeah.
You're not stubborn. You're just, you're being smart about it. You're like, this is how I do things. And this could be the way that you end up doing things too.
Yeah, why not?
I mean, you're off to a good start. Your first show was in front of 2,000 to 3,000 people. I think he's doing something right, guys. I think he's okay right now. I was gonna say you should check out just immediately Greek comedians that come to mind. I don't know if you know Angelos Saroukas.
Yeah, he's a friend of mine. We've
friend
done,
of yours too?
Yeah, Angelo.
Nice. Canadian.
We follow each other on Instagram, and
Love
we've
that.
done a live once on Instagram.
And Stavros, how would you pronounce that last name?
Halkias.
Halkias.
We've got the same name with this guy.
Yeah. Starting Stavros. So he's a New York City comedian, but he is he just put out a comedy special on YouTube. I think he put it on. I would say check out Stavros because he has like he's doing something right. Like he's moving up in the New York comedy scene. Let me just give a little shout out to his special here. It's Live at the Lodge Room, full special on YouTube there. But man, 2.4 million views in one month,
1 month.
So
it's amazing.
Not just for yourself, any comedian that's watching this, watch out for that Stavros because he's coming up. I think he's going to be somebody that we're all talking about for a long time.
Excellent.
But like, I also have when I was 10, I should say. When I was 10, I met a Greek kid in school in Canada, and we became best friends, and we're still best friends to this day. We've been friends for 20 years now at this point. So I know like bits and pieces of Greek too. Like I was gonna say, I think it's Tikanis.
Yeah, how are you?
Okay, yeah. And I know like Aflariso.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, nice. That's all I need to know.
Good.
How are you? And thanks. I know all the bad words too, right? Malaka and all that fun stuff. I wanted to make sure he was feeding me good information.
Yeah. Good dictionary.
Yeah. When you're 10 years old, though, you're just like, tell me all the bad words. That was the funnest part. Just like the only Greek kid in our whole school, and he's telling us all how to say all these terrible words in Greek. We're just going home and saying them to our Irish Catholic parents, and they're like, what the hell are these kids saying?
Yeah, I still do that. I mean, I've got friends from all over the world, from Africa, from Brazil, and the first thing that I say, okay, tell me how it's, how hello, how are you, and thanks is in your language, and then all the bad words.
Yeah.
Begin.
There's something so funny about that. I don't know why people are obsessed with like learning the bad words first and like all that. I don't know what that is. Maybe it's just the funniest because it gets the laugh, right? It gets that.
Maybe because they'll tell you the bad words to, two people from, let's say, Africa, will tell you, say this word, it means hello, but it will mean a bad word.
Yeah. There's that too. You say it to their parents and they're like,
yeah, has happened lots of times.
No. What was one time that it happened? Tell me this.
Yeah, nothing happened. The others realized that I didn't know the language, and they laughed.
Well, it's a better result to it than like, you end up saying it to a police officer. So like, yeah, just tell him this. Tell the cop this. Would not have
And
been
to
good.
go in jail.
Yeah, for sure. Shit. So when you come to LA and you get your visa and you do end up doing the Laugh Factory, what's I want to know what you're thinking beyond that. Do you want to do movies at some point? Are you looking to stay mostly in comedy? Do you want like an online presence? What's your goals? What do you got on the docket?
In the beginning, I've got to reach the Laugh Factory. So the first thing that's in my mind right now is to give my best in order to get there. But after that, I think that I'll have the recognition, let's say, and I'll meet new people that will help me get to the right clubs. Also, I forgot to mention that I got a message 2 weeks ago, I think, from Hollywood Improv. Yeah.
Nice.
And they said that they saw me and that when I get there, I get to contact them and perform at their open mic.
Love that, man. Do as many of those as you can, really. I wonder too if I could put you in touch with anyone. Let me know when you think you're going to be in LA, and I'll try to see. Like, I did meet a few people when I was there. I was only there for like a week, but I did meet a few people. So maybe I could put you in touch with somebody who could show you kind of the open mic scene and like where to go and what things to do. Because I find having someone there always helps you a lot more, especially in a state like California. Man, that place is, from what I see online, it's looking scarier and scarier by the day. There's just like, I don't know if you've seen, there's like videos of like mass robberies at these different like luxury stores. So they're called like smash and grabs. So literally groups of like 20 to 30 people will just run into like a Louis Vuitton store and just start breaking glass and grabbing as much stuff as they can and running out. And I'm like, I would hate to be just, walking down the street with my taco and I just see all this craziness happening over here. So it's like, be careful and find out. Well, it's like when you go to any major city, you got to find out first where the bad parts of the city are, and then just stay away from those.
Exactly.
Stay away from those areas. Don't be out walking late at night.
Take care.
Not a fun place. Not a fun place to be walking at night. That's for sure. I found myself taking Ubers constantly. Just like.
Yeah, and you've got,
But it's like the good thing too is you can find, typically when there's like a comedy club in one area, there's going to be other shows that are like nearby that you can just kind of hop from one thing to the next.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Like, so in a place, like let's say Austin, Texas, for example, they have like a strip, like a road where it's like 3 or 4 comedy clubs just like on that one road. So you could literally do one show, then go do another show, and then go do the next show, and just like that all in one night. Yeah. So you could even that's what I would recommend you do, is try to line stuff up that's close together and then just plan your route so that you're all within the same area.
Yeah.
Seems like.
Didn't know that. So many comedy clubs there. Amazing.
There's that many, dude. And there's even like beyond comedy clubs, right? Like there's like what you do, where you go to a place and someone has just set up like a mic at like a cafe or something that you can perform at. Some of my favorite shows have actually been in non-comedy club environments. Like it's just like a bar, or it's just like a weed lounge, or something like that, where people are just in there kind of just trying to find a place to chill. And then there's a show that's going on and they end up staying and loving it. Those are like the best. Because comedy clubs, I always feel this weird pressure, like the owner is watching me and this set is like make or break, and it's like I just want to have fun at the end of the day. It's like I started doing comedy to have fun, not to impress some owner of a
Yeah.
business, you know?
When you perform at stand-up comedy club, you know automatically in your brain, it's that I must go perfect. If you perform, let's say, at a bar, I don't know, I don't have that feeling at the back of my head.
Yeah. Because you can just have fun. You know, there's no consequences.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah,
Like you're like, if I piss off this bar owner, whatever, I'll go to a different bar and I'll start a new comedy show over there. You know, like something
yeah.
as simple as that.
But when you're at a stand-up comedy club and you piss off the
yeah,
owner,
yeah. You're not working in this town again, especially when there's only one stand-up comedy club. I mean, the pressure is on. I feel that. I'm in Ottawa. I don't know if you know where Ottawa is. Ottawa in Canada. So it's like it's the country's capital. It's the capital of the whole country of Canada. But we only have, you think, there's Yuck Yucks, Absolute Comedy, and Laugh Lounge. I think that's it. There's 3 comedy clubs, which is great. Like, but this scene, even in Ottawa, is like just starting to kind of grow. Most people will go to Toronto because it's a city that's literally double the size of our population, or they'll go to Montreal where they do like the Just for Laughs festival and stuff like that too. So there's lots of comedy just booming in that area. But for the most part, there's just those 3 clubs. So you have to be like on your P's and Q's and making sure that you say everything correctly, you don't piss anybody off, you get in the good jokes, and then you get the fuck out of there.
3 clubs. Yeah, I know.
It's a tough little circuit. There's also this weird thing too. I don't know, like if it would happen in Greece, but like if you do this one, it doesn't matter which comedy club. I don't think Laugh Lounge is like this, but if you do either Yuck Yucks or Absolute Comedy and you get signed to those clubs, you can't do any other clubs. You can only do their clubs. So I've always been like, how do you get better if you're only doing their clubs, you know?
Yeah.
Because the amount of spots that are available to get on are limited. So it doesn't make any sense, but that's the way it's been forever, which is kind of, it's just strange.
Yeah, it's very strange.
But I guess that's why a lot of people go to America, because they can go to, 50 different states and just go all around and around and around, and there's a million different comedy clubs that they can go to.
So many opportunities.
Yeah, it's just the opportunities are just endless, which is what we're seeking,
limitless
right?
Opportunities.
Through all of this. I was going to say, if you could make, this is a question that I like asking a lot, if you can make a phone call to 15-year-old Stavros, it's a different universe, it doesn't affect your current timeline, you just give him a piece of advice, what would you say?
Call myself in 25 years. I think, well done, Stavros, you've made everyone proud.
You at 15. So it's you right now calling 15-year-old you when you're 15, younger Stavros.
Oh no, I thought.
Yeah. I caught it there. I caught you saying that. I like that though. Maybe I'll add that question. What will you say to 25-year-old? Yeah.
Yeah. So I'd say never forget the reason you started. Yeah, never forget the reason you started.
I love that, man. Yeah, because that we can often forget that, right? Along the way, you get all the other parts of life start coming at you, like your parents maybe want you to have kids, or they tell you you need to get a more stable career, and
you start losing focus.
You lose focus, exactly. You start to lose track of the mission that you're on. Like you didn't miss all those birthdays and all those weekends and all those parties for nothing. Like you were working at building your career,
All the sacrifices that everyone has made to make a small step closer to achieving their goal.
Yeah, man, it's not easy. No, it's not easy at all. And it shouldn't be something that gets taken lightly either, right? Like that's why I love this platform of like podcasting, because it's a chance for us to tell people, look, we're not overnight sensations. Like this this shit is tough, and it wears on your soul after a little bit. Like you have to just
Yeah,
keep believing that there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and you're gonna make it there eventually.
yeah, exactly, exactly.
Let's
Agree 100%.
let's do that 25 years in the future, though. I like where we were going with that one too. So now you're calling you in 25 years from now. What are you saying?
Um, calling myself 25 years. I'll go with the proud again. Well done, you've made everyone proud as you wished you would too since you started.
I love it, man. You just birthed
And
a new
most
question on the Johnny Rogers show. I'm adding that in now.
and mostly you've made yourself proud, because most of the times, you make big steps all the time, but you never take a time to rest and say to yourself, good job, man, good job. You
I think
forget
that's
to
important.
congratulate yourself.
Yeah, we're so stuck, especially as comedians, we're so stuck on trying to constantly improve, which it's sort of, when you're trying to improve something, you're almost saying that it's something that's broken that needs to be fixed, right? What we lose sight of is like, no, it's you're improving upon great accomplishments that you've already done. And so often we forget that. Like again, my Greek friend, I remember one time I was all down on myself, like, I can't believe I'm not like, further ahead, or I'm not doing X, or I'm not doing this. And he just looked at me. He's like, man, shut the fuck up. He goes, do you know what people say when I tell them about my friend John and the things that he's done so far? And he's like, it blows their mind. They can't, there's too many things to list. And he goes, I have to like shorten it. And even then they're impressed. And you kind of go like, oh yeah, I have done a lot of cool stuff. Like, I guess, yeah, I need to take a second and be like, good job, pat yourself on the back there.
Yeah. Every
But
time I feel stressed out, that's what I do. I just turn the TV off, turn my phone, turn my laptop. I just turn everything off and keep thinking what I've achieved, and spend time with myself saying, relax. What happened will happen. No worries, no stress.
I love that, man. Well, exactly what you just said. Whatever will happen will happen. Like you can't
Yeah.
control every single aspect of. I mean,
Unfortunately,
a
we're not gods.
pandemic. A pandemic just threw at us out of
Yeah,
nowhere. We're
maybe
like,
a world war. Who
yeah.
knows?
Oh God, I hope that's done soon. I'm sick and tired of gas being so goddamn expensive. What we're about to get real political all of a sudden. Has the war with like Russia and Ukraine like affected your
Yeah,
economy? It's the same as
yeah,
everywhere, right? Yeah, that's what I
yeah,
thought.
yeah, yeah.
It's
It's
like gas
affected
prices and bread prices and everything's through the roof.
everything, everything. I used to when I first bought my motorcycle, I filled my tank with 4 to 5 euros, but now I fill it with 15 euros.
That's
Yeah,
trip. That's crazy.
yeah.
That's
Uh,
nuts. And
before just think of that, but that before the gas prices went up, someone fueled their car with 20 euros, and he said, okay, I'll get 2 or 3 days maybe. Now I put 15 euros in a motorcycle. So I don't know.
We just gotta find a way to make jokes about it, man, until they stop. How do we make
Yeah,
fun of Putin until he stops?
I don't know.
I don't think he's one for humor. I don't know. He just doesn't seem like the type of guy that likes to laugh very often.
Maybe if we make him talk about Will Smith's wife something will end.
That's exactly how I wanted to cap that off. So let's if you're following us on Twitch right now, thank you. I'm going to be streaming these podcasts every single Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We did an early one today because Stavros stayed up late to join us. I mean, different time zones, so we got to do it early for you. But follow I am Stavrakis on Instagram, and I will link to that down in the description below for those watching on YouTube. Man, thanks so much for coming on. Do you have anything else that you want to promote? This will definitely come out July 10th, so anything after that, or any parting words of advice for people watching?
I think that I said in the beginning, the best advice is to always follow what your heart says and not what other people say. You and only you and yourself know your true potential and your true strength. So don't hear if someone says, you're not good, you're not going to make it. Only you know your true potential. So whatever it takes, go there, hunt your dreams, achieve your goals.
I love that. And I think let's call the episode Potential.
Yeah, potential.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's a good word for it. I like to pick one word for every episode, and I think that one fits this episode
Potential.
perfectly. I will say, if that is so, thank you so much, Stavros, for coming on the show, and I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you for letting me in.
Later, man. Have a good night.
Bye.
You've been listening to The Johnny Rogers Show. New episodes air every Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.